what's up? My name is Natalie Newhart with Fit Addicted Nutrition, and today what we're going to be going over is a really unique concept that really helped me when I first started to make a huge shift in my ability to have control around food, feel peace with food, feel empowered, and I have no doubt that it's going to be able to help you with your struggles, your patterns around food. And what we're going to be talking about today is really how to lose weight by not focusing on food. So we are literally going to go against the grain from everything that you're taught. Traditional advice tells you, traditional dieting advice, they tell you to focus on what to eat, focus on what not to eat, when to eat it. They literally kind of just lay out this entire program around food, okay? And what I've noticed is that, the more that we focus on food, the more we think about food, all right? So for example, when we're told to not eat sugar, we go on a diet and the diet says, stay away from sugar. So we're just like, hey, I'm not going to have any sugar. All of a sudden we become obsessed with sugar, right? Like what happens there, it's not a fluke. It doesn't just show up like that. The subconscious brain actually starts to paint a picture of sugar in the mind, and it seeks it out. It wants to find it. It will seek it out. It'll think about it. It'll focus on it. It'll want it. Okay. And when we want it, it's only like when we're focused on it for so much, when we're obsessed over it, it's only a matter of time till we actually seek it out and then eat it. Okay. It's just like we've all had the experience of, when we say like, don't eat the cookie, don't eat the cookie, don't eat the cookie. We've got these cookies in the house. They look delicious. We're just telling ourselves all day long, every single day, don't eat the cookie. Well, it's only a matter of time that you actually eat that cookie. Okay. Because again, you're by way of focusing on it in the brain, your subconscious mind creates a picture of it, becomes obsessed with it. And because that energy is going towards the cookie, it's only a matter of time till you eat that cookie. All right. So I'm going to show you how to get around that, because I think this is something that we really get wrong in the dieting world, where we're so consumed about what to eat and what not to eat. But as a result of focusing so much on that, we just get obsessed with food. We get obsessed with it. We get frustrated. We get confused of it. And our whole world sort of revolves around food. It's like we can't stop thinking about it. And since we can't stop thinking about it, we can't stop eating it, right? We eat when we're not hungry. We eat when we're stressed. We eat when we're bored. We eat just because it's a habit to do in front of the TV. So this is going to be a really helpful drill for us to start to create some space, create that freedom that I know you guys are all searching for, because I know it was the thing that I was after. I was after peace and freedom with food. I wanted to, I wanted to live life without feeling like I was so attached to food, like I always had to think about it, like it always ran my life. I wanted to be around food, in any time of the year, on any day, and feel completely empowered, not feeling like I've got like this food whispering in the back of my head and I've got to use my willpower to not eat it, okay? And so here's what we're going to do. Well, real quick, I just want to, give you the biggest key here is that, we get what we focus on, not what we intend, okay? So again, even though we don't want to eat the cookie or we don't want to eat sugar, even though we have good intentions of not eating the thing, just by means of putting our focus on it means that our energy is going to go towards it and we will eventually create it, okay? Same thing goes for when we focus on, hey, I don't want to be stressed. As soon as you start saying, hey, I don't want to be stressed, all of a sudden you start focusing on, all the reasons why you could feel stressed, or you're like, man, I can't do that because it'll stress me out. And I can't do that because it'll stress me out. And all of a sudden you're stressed by way of thinking about not being stressed. Same, it's the same concept. Or, hey, I don't want to be negative. And as a result of you thinking, hey, I don't want to be negative. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. Well, all of a sudden you're now perpetuating that negativity. Okay. Because our focus is on that thing. Okay. So we want to use this concept in our favor, but most people are using it very wrongly. Most people are focused on the things that they don't want rather than the things that they do want. Okay. And so we're going to solve that problem right here and right now. So grab yourselves a pen and paper, because we're about to do a really cool drill. One of my favorite drills that will blow your mind. All right. So grab a sheet. All right, guys, so what we're gonna do is you're gonna make a left-hand column and a right-hand column. Oh, it looks like my hair got some of the marker. So on the left-hand column, what I want you to do, I have examples here, but I want you to actually write your own examples, your own thoughts here. I want you to write down, what is it that you want? Like, what is it, when it comes to, just your life in general and your relationship with food and the gym and your body, okay? What is it that you want? What would you like to see happen? What would you like to experience? What would you like that your life to look like in those spaces? Okay? So I want you to just take 30 seconds right now, pause the video and write down, what do I want? Okay? Go. All right, guys, great. So hopefully you guys wrote down a few things, hopefully like 3 to 5 things, just for you to start to get an idea of what we're about to work with here, okay? Now, these 3 to 5 things that you wrote down, these are things that are important to your heart. These are things that, that really mean a lot to you. It's the thing that you want to create in life, the experience you want in life. And for me personally, some examples that I have are things like peace with food, right? I wanted to, back in the day, I used to be just such an anxiety and anxiety driven eater, or, stress eater, or a mindless eater. And I really wanted to just create some peace with food. I wanted to have a life where I wasn't so obsessive with food. And so that's what I wanted. Peace with food was important to me. Freedom with food was important to me. I wanted to feel like I had freedom from the thoughts of food, right? Of thinking about food and thinking about later and the food that's in the kitchen and what I shouldn't eat and what I can eat. I wanted freedom, okay? I also wanted love for the gym. I wanted to go into the gym inspired to go. I wanted to work out with a smile on my face. I couldn't wait. I wanted to go work out and not, couldn't wait for it to happen. I wanted freedom in the gym. I wanted to do what I felt like doing. I didn't want to feel like I had to go hard every single day. I wanted to, choose what I wanted to do based on how the body felt. I also wanted, obviously a lean body. I wanted abs. I wanted health and vitality. I wanted to feel lean and vibrant. I wanted to have time to do things I loved, again, freedom shows up there. And I wanted to be inspired to move, kind of the same thing as the, health and vitality, okay? So these are the things I wanted. So hopefully you guys just kind of review your list. Make sure that you wrote down things that you want, not the things that you don't want. So I know that I kind of said, hey, I don't want to be obsessed with food. I don't want you to write that down. I want you to write down what you actually want. So write down, make sure that what you've got in this left-hand column are the things that you actually want, okay? And these are things that are important to our heart, okay? These are the things that truly mean a lot to us. Now, what we're gonna do, this is the thing that we wanna create right now, right? This is the reason why we go on diets. This is the reason why we go work out, because we want the experience of these things, okay? Now, I want to show you what you are actually creating, because what I want you to do now is I want you to think back in the last 24 to 48 hours. What have you been focused on? What has the mind been focused on? Okay. And so, for example, here are some common things that come up, I can't eat till, 10 a.m. Don't eat till 10 a.m. because I want to, put my 14-hour fast in. Don't eat the sugar. I can't eat the sugar. I can't eat this food. I can't eat that food. Okay. And because it'll make me eat that. We're thinking about what we can and can't eat. We're going to think about, I have to go to the gym. I have to go in there. Got to get my workout in, and not only do I have to go, but it has to be hard. And I just don't feel like going hard. And man, I know I got to push harder if I really want this body that I want. I'm also focused on how I'm not lean enough, how it's just not, I don't have the abs that I want. I'm not lean enough. I still feel fat. I'm also focused on how I don't have time to do the things I love, or that I don't want to go for a walk because it's cold out. Okay, so these are the kind of things that we tend to focus on. Now, what I want you to realize is that since this is the things, first off, before we backtrack, okay, so what I want you guys to do is I want you to write down what you have been thinking about. I want you to write down what your mind has been obsessed about. What are the thoughts, word for word, what are the thoughts that are going on in your head in the last 24 to 48 hours? What has the mind been obsessively focused on in the last 48 hours, okay? And so just pause the video right now, write down 3 to 5 things, and then we'll go from there. So go. All right, guys, so hopefully you guys wrote some things down. Now, what I want you to understand is these are the things that are important to the mind, okay? What we obsessively think about, what we obsessively focus on is what the mind thinks is important, okay? And this is the reason why we tend to struggle with creating the peace with food, the things that we want, is because the mind thinks that this is what's important, not this. And so when you're putting all your focus on these things with the things that you don't want, basically, you're going to perpetually create that, okay? And so what we want to do is start to put our focus on what we actually want, not what we don't want. It's so easy for us to focus on the things that we don't want without even noticing that it's occurring. And when we end up focusing on the thing that we don't want to create for ourselves, as a result of that, what happens is that we end up creating the very thing that we're focused on, the thing that we actually don't want, the one thing that we don't want, okay? And so this is really important to understand, because this is how the mind works, okay? And so what we want to be able to do is align the things that are important to our heart with the things that are what we're focused on in the mind, the things that we're thinking about all day long. Again, going back to that example with sugar. So when we go on a diet and we focus on, hey, I can't eat this sugar, all of a sudden we become obsessed with that sugar. We see it everywhere we go. And now we see that sugar everywhere we go because we inadvertently, by way of focusing on the sugar itself, we ask our mind to be aware of sugar, to find it, to seek it out. And so even though our intention is to eliminate sugar, to get away from the junk food, if our focus is on the sugar, it puts a picture of sugar in our mind, and we are naturally drawn to obsess over more sugar, okay? And so understand how this is going on, how this is playing in your head, and why we can feel like we're literally spinning our wheels, okay? Because you really are. And so the name of the game here, guys, is we really want to be, focusing on the thing that we want, not on the thing that we don't want, okay? And again, it's easy to get caught up because we think that if we put our attention on the thing that we don't want and we focus on it, that eventually that thing will change. But what we really want to do is put our focus on the things of the experience that we want to create. Peace, freedom, love, joy, health and vitality, inspiration, okay? And so as a result of focusing on what we want, then you're not going to be focused on these things, okay? You're not going to be focused on food or, the anxiety with food. And so this peace and, freedom and love will actually fill the space of, anxiety and stress and dread and frustration, okay? And so just by way of focusing on the thing that we want, the problem goes away, okay? And so if what we want is to feel empowered around food, no matter where we are and no matter what the food is around us, then we want to focus on feeling that emotion. We want to focus on all the reasons of, why I feel peace, how I could feel peace, how I could feel empowered, and just focus on that experience in of itself. That really is as simple as it gets. It needs to be. Okay. So again, because when we focus on the emotion that we are trying to seek out, that we are trying to create for ourselves, because again, we're doing all of this, just to experience a particular way of life. We want to know a life where we feel free, loved, a peace, vitality, inspiration, passion. And so we want to put our focus on those things. And that's really all you got to do. Just by focusing on that thing, like, hey, how can I create peace with food? Or how can I just have more, create peace? What would a peaceful person do? What would a loving person do? What do I love about this workout right now? Why do I feel free? Or how can I create some freedom right now? And just by focusing on how, on this experience and how we can show up in this way, just putting our focus there, then from there, you're going to start to create thoughts around it, and you're going to take certain actions that lead to the outcome that you actually want to create. But if we focus on stress and anxiety and, feeling trapped, with food, we are just going to create more thoughts around that, more emotions of frustration and dread and, fear around food. And it's going to create a completely different outcome, the one that we don't want. Okay, so that's the name of the game, guys. Focus on what you want, not on what you don't want. So just try this out. What I suggest is you just make a list, continue that list that you started of what you actually want, what's important to your heart, and then review again what's going on in your mind see if they actually match. And you know, you're going to start creating the thing that you want, the peace with food you want, the freedom, the love, once these start to match, okay? Once they start to align with each other. So once you start thinking about this stuff on the left-hand side, you will start to create this, because again, we get what we focus on, not what we intend. So focus on what you want, not on what you don't want, okay? This was such a huge, powerful tool for me. I know it's also an amazing tool that my clients absolutely love. And I know it's going to help you a lot out too. So, and again, guys, if you want some help with this, you can always check out my programs below. I've got a couple female specific programs to help you eat and train with your female hormones to accelerate fat loss and accelerate muscle building. And then if you're wanting to take a deeper dive, if you really want to figure yourself out once and for all, never have to do another diet again, never have to feel frustrated, if you need some accountability, then go ahead and click the link below where it says work with me one-on-one. You can apply to work with me. I review the applications, and if you're a good fit, then I'll reach out to you and explain a little bit about what it'd be like to work with me and what that would look like. Okay. In my one-on-one academy, we really take a deep dive into this mindset stuff, because as you can see, what your mind is focused on is the thing that you create. And a lot of people from just the traditional dieting advice out there has you focused on the wrong things, has you feeling a particular way, which is causing a fear around food, which is causing stress and anxiety and obsessiveness. And we really need to get away from that if we're ever going to create the peace with food that we want. Because again, obsessing over food will never, ever, ever create the peace with food that you want. All right, guys. So check out those links below. I hope you enjoyed that. We'll see you guys in the next video.